Some rudimentary thoughts on Cryptical. I'll play it first and then I'll sort of talk about each section. Okay, so each section. The intro is this E, and then we're holding the E, and it can be specifically, that's a sort of pedaling between the second and third string. And then the A. So if you're just looking at the high strings, it'd be, and then like that. But the last note is a, so if you were strictly speaking and just keeping each finger on a fret and fretting each note, it'd be. But that's a little dull, a little staccato. So I like this. So. Nine, 8, 7. Just nice little. And then. Okay, so let's talk about this. I don't know how much bending people know. So basically, 12, 14, 16, you're taking the 16th note on the third string and you're going, which is bending it to this note 2 frets up. That's what's happening note-wise. But we're bending it. So it bends up, and then this one bends up, down. So even though this one doesn't resolve, this one does like that. Now the note that we're holding is this pinky here, so. Okay, so a couple notes about this. First of all, this walk up here is just a 14, 16, and then jumping a string to the third and hitting the 14th there. So it's. Okay, so if we pluck that and bend it, starts to be more like a pedal steel. The way we're getting this kind of jangly thing is by plucking both down. Now, if you pluck up, it's a little strident. Putting your pick on under the second and plucking up highlights this note too much. I don't like it so much. I think it sounds better to pluck down and go, you know, be favoring these strings. So you're really mostly playing the third string. And then we go back after the first one. Sorry. So there's kind of a double hit on each bass. And then. So this is the second time through. Okay, now this is the glorious, glorious part. I'm going to break into 3 parts. One's going to be the E, G, D, E minor, G, D. One's going to be the C, B, A minor. And the other one's going to be, well, I'll talk about the other one in a second. So let's start with the first one. E minor, G, D. Now, these are not strummed chords. We wouldn't do... That's just too rich and too jangly. What we're doing is we're really hitting a lot on the bass. We're going. So I'm exaggerating there, but you can even do it as a, you know, that kind of, you know, really plucking through the bass things, and you can do some of this muting. So what I'm really focusing on is this E, G. I'm hitting the A and the D together over the D. And then there's this run. So that's 2 little 3-note segments. One is open A, hammer on, and then the open D. That's one. That's 1 3-note segment, and then the other one is just open, hammer on, open. So the open happens twice. So now the next section is a C, B, A minor, G. Now, this shows up everywhere. This shows up in Simon and Garfunkel's America, and Mr. Bojangles, and shows up in Friend of the Devil, and it's in Unbroken Chain, and it's in Dire Wolf, and so it's a very common, you know, set of chords to go together. So in this case, again, we're focusing on the bass. Okay, that strictly speaking is what's happening. Is it's going C, B, A minor, G. But that's not how I play it. What I do is, for when it hits the A minor, I'm going C, B. That's what's happening over the A minors, that little. And then I go G, open. So that sounds good. Okay, now this next section is built around the bass going. It's so beautiful. Okay, so what that looks like is F, F sharp on top of a D7, G sharp on top of an E7, A minor, F sharp 7, D. Now, on this final B, we have this. You can either be that explicit where you're hitting the bass and then the 3, 4 high, or you can just get some form of this, some kind of thing, because you have this boom, bow, bow, bow. Okay, so let's put the whole thing together. So. And then all 4 notes, second, all 4 notes, fourth, A. So this. So I kind of think of this like an upside down staircase. You have this flat end, and then this would be somebody walking up the staircase here. So. Sorry, that's not really part of the lesson, but who can hear cryptical and not immediately start hearing that? So anyway, that's a rudimentary lesson on cryptical, and I can elaborate on. There's some parts I glossed over, some really pretty 2-note sliding things, but I wanted to give a kind of a basic sense of it. This is another one of these lessons during the COVID crisis. So I urge you all to be safe. Don't be freaked, but take care of yourselves. I kind of think of it like the crocodile hunter. He was around crocodiles all day long, was never in any danger because he knew how a crocodile works. An idiot who blunders into a crocodile and doesn't appreciate its speed, its jaws, its deadliness, is in danger, but somebody who knows a crocodile is pretty safe. So I think it's the same way. You got to wash your hands and wear gloves and be aware of what the possible transmissions are and be very isolating, at least physically. And then we'll all get through this in as best a way as we can in this, definitely trying time. So anyway, that's my exhortation to you, is to be safe. If you can, find somebody to give love to. Bake them a cake for your neighbors and leave it on their doorstep, and You know, if you do get immune, buy groceries for an elderly person, something like that. Anyway, enough of that. We all have heard it and we're all sick of it, so hope you're all well.